Well, living up to its concept, Quibi was only a quick bite.
Oh, no.
The social network streaming service is shutting down after 4 or 5 months of operation.
Wow.
During a global pandemic in which we're all trapped inside.
I think maybe proving that nobody signed up for it.
Nobody wants it. It might have worked if we were all just busy doing whatever we usually do. Mm-hmm. But the whole concept of quick bites is a bad concept. We all love TV shows that last an hour or longer and run for 10 seasons. We all love podcasts that go for 3.5 hours. We all love YouTube videos that go for 90 minutes. Why would we want this? Has Jeffrey Katzenberg not heard of a pause button? That's what I need to know.
I mean, who was asking for this? Who was like, I need 10 minutes of entertainment only?
It just smacks of a guy who has been very creative and very innovative in his time and is still, I just think that, I don't know, we're just never going to get to see what the golden arm of every state would be.
How far, do you know how far they got with the 50 states by any chance?
I don't know.
Okay. All right.
I mean, there's scripts. There's 50 scripts in a tub somewhere.
Yeah, right.
Right?
Yeah.
Hopefully somebody leaks that.
Yeah, right. I'm intrigued by like how bad the golden arm sounds. Like I kind of almost want to watch it just because of how bad it sounds.
I've seen it.
You have?
Yeah.
And?
It's terrible.
Yeah. Okay.
It's laughable.
Okay.
But the problem is that I haven't watched. No, it's not true. I watched half of the first episode of Miss Maisel. It was like, well, I shan't continue this.
Yeah.
And so I have a very low opinion of that actress. And I don't like Vikings guy.
Oh, you don't?
I don't know what anybody ever saw in him.
Okay.
I've seen him. I've watched the entire first season of Raised by Wolves.
Yeah.
And he is the weakest part of it. Like the kid actors are better than he is. So and I know that spoiler alert, I don't think he's in every season of Vikings, but I just don't know how everybody likes Vikings so much.
Yeah, it's true.
And not to just get rid of the last dregs of our audience, but most of the people I know that like Vikings are like, I don't think that I would share the likes and tastes of those people. Big Sons of Anarchy fans, that sort of thing.
Wow.
Yeah. And having him see, he puts a lot of vulnerability out there. I'll give him that in Raised by Wolves. But I can't see him being a Viking and that really taking off. So clearly he can do something other than what I've seen in Raised by Wolves. But anyway,
right.
All that's neither here nor there because they both are terrible. Like not even, thank you, we'll call you. Like not even making it past the audition for the Golden Arm.
Okay.
Which could be effect of them just not taking it seriously, and also the script is terrible. But
why?
You think that if anything, you could just, you're already thinking visually because it can either be watched in widescreen or portrait, which nobody asked for that either.
That's a weird thing.
So you're thinking about it in those terms, even if you were just delivering like something glitzy and like stylish. But they're not even doing that. It's just two people in a set that is just a hospital bed, like it's a Neil Breen movie. And it's like, I need my golden arm. If you're sure you got it, okay, you can keep your golden arm. What?
Well, what I want to know, I know that you maybe personally don't necessarily like these actors, but the people know them, and there are people who are fans.
Oh no, yeah,
of
that's
them.
why you get them. Yeah, sure.
So
they're technically good picks.
But why did they agree to do this, I guess, is what I want to know.
Because it's only 10 minutes long, so it was literally probably a day of work for them. And I bet,
I suppose.
There's a reason that Quibi went out of business. They ran out of money. They probably made it very lucrative for these two to do it. But if you go in, you go, and I don't know anything about her savvy as an actress or a performer, but she's Ms. Maisel. Like, she's been treated well, and she knows how to manage her image. So why would she go in and be like, I need my golden arm? Like,
I know.
You would just go, hey, I want to do this, but can we look at this? Can we look at this? You don't even do that on the day. They email you the script. You
right.
go, hey, do this, do this.
Right.
Maybe the money's just too good. It's like, shut up. Don't do it. I'm Jeffrey Katzenberg. Just do it. And they're like, all right, that's good money.
All right. Well,
I don't know.
Wow. Wow, Queeby.
But unfortunately, I regret that we won't get to see 49 more sets of actors be hard done by and make these head-scratching sort of dramatic choices.
Yeah, right. Oh, well, I mean, it's so long, Queeby. We fairly
Why are you trying to eulogize Queeby?
I don't know.
You think this is the end of the bit?
No, I don't know.
No, you take it. Go ahead.
Poor Queeby, you were a ill-fated child of the world of streaming. We barely knew ye, and most of us didn't even want to get to know ye.
I want to write an article called "We Barely Knew Ye," but it's still YE, and it's about like what happened to Kanye West. Oh. Sometimes you start with a title. That's how you write an article.
Yeah,
Just
sure.
a little tip.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So back to the Queeby bit. Yes. Hominum, linoleum, ad nauseum. They lower the coffin down and it doesn't fit, and then they turn it sideways, and then it's like, oh, and then it just goes in there. So, can only be buried one way. You can err in portrait and landscape, but you can only be buried in landscape.
Right.
Well, we're the Just Enough Trope podcast. I'm your host, Caliban, joined as always by my co-host.
Hi, I'm Mikan Hana.
And that's too bad. No more Queeby to talk about.
No.
But we'll be talking about other things going forward until they put us in the ground in either sideways or up and down. And today that's going to be, speaking of dead people, the film 28 Days Later.
Yes.
As our Halloween half-hearted spookeroo continues.
Half-hearted, because we started midway through the
month.
month.
We could be talking about Queeby content if they had kept their heads on straight.
Yeah.
Or sideways. But instead we're talking about Halloween films and media as we get closer to Halloween. And we're talking about the 2002 phenomenon. 28 Days Later that no one talks about anymore. And maybe we'll talk about why that might be. It's a little weird.
Yeah, it is a little weird.
It was, I mean, for, a modest phenomenon, I guess. Back then, a $8 million movie that made $90 million is like...
pretty good.
That's pretty good.
Yeah,
and
that is pretty good.
Expect to see a couple more of those.
Yeah.
Just imagine if Jason Blum had been doing his shit back then.
Oh my gosh, there would have been so many.
A whole 28
15.
Universe.
Yeah,
the 28
right.
universe.
Maybe they would have tried to go for 28 films.
Yeah.
I actually had never seen it before, so I'm excited to talk about it.
Yeah, so we're doing that, and we're doing a little news as per usual. What's going on with you?
Well, should we talk about our trek across
I see what you did.
the country?
I see what
that
you
we
did.
did. Yeah.
Yeah.
Did
If
it
only
on
to
purpose.
explain to people why we're so out of sorts and low energy.
Sure.
Yeah, we drove 22 miles, hours. It's all the same, right? That's what Einstein said. Hours round trip to visit Bloomington, Indiana for the unveiling of the Captain Janeway statue, an effort by members of Bloomington, Indiana University, the Science Museum in town, and their city council in order to honor Captain Janeway, also the actress Kate Mulgrew, who played her, and basically commemorate her contribution to the world of STEM and encouraging young women to go into STEM fields and just being, a real coffee hound.
Yeah.
People don't like coffee. I'm Norwegian, so I'll stab somebody over coffee.
I think they're...
But I feel like you go other places.
Yeah.
And at the, obviously, sad that the ceremony was kind of truncated. Our interaction with it after driving 11 hours was essentially to slow down a little bit and go, hey, all right, and then and just pull off. Like we couldn't do anything. They had planned a weekend-long set of activities, connected with the Science Museum there, and that just all got taken down to meet at the pub if you're brave enough, and then there was a sort of virtual science event that night. And so it's sad, it's too bad. Also that, communal food kind of gets into that too.
Right.
But I feel like, have the local, there's got to be a local mom and pop coffee shop, right? Have them have a thing. That would have been
smart.
Yeah, and be giving out coffee, but tea, or cider, hot cider, because it was a little chilly.
Yeah.
And I think somebody made a joke about we got coffee over there. And it's like,
but
are you guys Janeway fans or not?
Coffee,
like, what are we talking about
Yeah,
here?
right, exactly. Missed opportunity.
I had to go to Starbucks.
I know.
It's a shame.
It is a shame. The statue itself was awesome. Like it really looks like Kate Mulgrew as Captain Janeway. The sculptor did a really great job. The overall design was really cool. So I think it's basically considered a bust because it's like it's kind of like her from like the waist up.
Yeah.
Is that more or less what you would say? And then like its base, it's in like a Star Trek font. Yeah. And, it says Captain Janeway, Bloomington, Indiana, future birthplace of Captain Janeway.
Yeah, I forgot to mention that's why it's in Bloomington.
Yeah. And then on the back there is the Federation of Planets insignia symbol.
Yeah.
All really cool, very well done.
Yeah, it could have been a full one. I mean, Captain Janeway is probably 5'6".
Yeah.
So, but if you're not going to do that and you're just going to go for the goods, you can do a head, like a Roman emperor or something like that.
Sure.
But they went the full torso, mostly because I think so she could fold her arms and do that like because they really nailed like the character of Janeway.
Yes.
Yeah, and it was just really impressive. And they just so it's like, this is a fan effort, more or less. I mean, they raised like, $60,000 or something to do it.
Yeah.
But it was so not half-assed. That's what really impressed me.
That really impressed me too.
And there is a sort of a plaque or a display that goes with it. It's all on this, there's like a trail, like a biking trail, walking trail that goes through town.
Yeah.
Called the Beeline or something like that. And so it's on there, so it's on display for all the townsfolk, tourists, anybody who's coming through. Mm-hmm. And they have this huge, like, informative plaque that talks about the character, talks about Kate Mulgrew, and also talks about Jerry Taylor, who's an important element of this. Jerry Taylor was one of the producers and writers on Voyager. She co-created Janeway, essentially. And she grew up, at least part of her life, in Bloomington and went to IU in Bloomington.
Yeah.
And so it's very important to her. That's kind of why Janeway is from Indiana.
Yes.
And she also donated her papers to the library in town.
Which is really cool.
Yeah. Just, her papers of writing and TV writing, screenwriting.
Really awesome. And I didn't know that fact. And I just think that makes it...
Which we could have visited.
That much cooler. Yeah, right. Under
pandemic.
Normal circumstances.
Yeah.
Right. I think it's really neat too that like, and you kind of have to do this if you don't want to do it half-assed, but they got CBS's approval and Kate Mulgrew's approval on the statue itself. And they also were able to get in contact with Kate Mulgrew's rep and get Kate Mulgrew there virtually for the actual unveiling and be able to ask her a couple of questions and everything. It was really neat.
She phoned in, and you'd think like, well, a Hollywood star doesn't want to do this. And I don't know. I think that she might have done it. I mean, this is clearly, an honor for her.
Yeah.
And you find out when she calls in that part of the reason that she can't be there is that her daughter has given birth to her first grandchild.
Yeah, right.
So it's just like, I mean, I don't know. It was a real love fest, and it was just very emotional. And they had a great video. They had a couple of video packages, but one that talked to different Star Trek personalities, and the characters' influence, but also the actresses' influence.
Yeah,
and it was heartwarming.
It was,
but not mouthwarming. No coffee.
No. Coffee was talked about and mentioned, but not had. Yeah.
Yeah. But it's an amazing effort. You can easily see something like this falling apart, and I think that it's a big testament to the university and the people who work there being academics and intellectuals themselves, and also being well organized and just getting this together. Because it started, a couple of years ago as kind of like, oh, we should just kind of have something. It's fun. The 25th anniversary of Voyager is this year, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. So they wanted to do it in May, which is the character's birthday, and also. Oh, no, it's just the character's birthday. Because I guess they kind of actually got it close to the premiere of Voyager because of the pandemic, having to push it back.
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, so it just, I don't know. I just, exciting.
It is exciting.
For me.
It was really
I don't know
neat.
if it's exciting for anybody else.
It was really neat and it was really cool. Got a little emotional. With the video when they talked to truck personalities, they also were able to get Robert Picardo, who was great.
Yeah. It actually premiered in January. I don't know what I'm talking about.
Oh, okay.
Because it premiered with the UPN network, but...
okay.
Yeah.
So it was like a mid-season replacement?
No, the entire network was a mid-season replacement. It was the premiere of the network. So you've got...
Oh, I didn't realize that.
Girlfriends, which is now... Girlfriends is surging in popularity now for some reason.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on.
Hey, good for them.
Yeah.
And this, and... what else is on UPN? Shasta McNasty.
I don't know off the top of my head what was on UPN.
The Luminate, Tracy Ellis Ross, and Kate Mulgrew on Voyager, and Vern Troyer on Shasta McNasty. I mean, these are all spoken in the same breath.
Clearly.
But yeah, great experience. Also noticed that I was wondering who would go. I mean, it is in the center of the country, so I guess centrally located, everybody has an equal distance to travel, unless you live in Indiana or whatever. And I thought, who's going to go to this? And I posted some pictures from the event that you can see on our accounts. But I noticed as I was going through my social media groups and everything, like there's a lot of other pictures. A lot of people went to this thing.
Yeah, there was a fair amount. I think we talked to somebody, one of the president of the collective afterwards, and he said that there was an estimate of maybe 250 people. Is that right?
I suppose.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So I don't know.
I'm just focusing on the fact that people liked it.
Yeah, people liked it. People showed up.
Yeah.
It was a good time. I'm glad that we were able to go. So.
Me too.
Yeah.
Should we talk about the news?
Let's do it.
Well, let's start with the good stuff. You know the good stuff.
Yeah, let's start with the good stuff.
The stuff where you see that a little baby man is going to try to be a big man who kills thousands of people in his self-serving quest to find artifacts that proves that he's important.
What?
The Uncharted series is going to become a film. And behind you, you see the baby man in question. We're just going to push forward. We just have to make this.
I know.
This is
Tom
how
Holland,
Sony does everything. Mm-hmm. Let's not wait for the right thing. I'm sure he'll be fine. He's very charming, but it's just not. Even this article in The Verge, the picture that I'm showing you of Tom Hardy.
Whoa.
There you go. How about that?
Maybe a better choice.
Tom.
Yeah.
I love you, Elena. Maybe not the right choice, but even this thing is just talking about how a guy who's like in his mid-30s is not Tom Holland. So Tom Holland won't look like his mid-30s when he's in his mid-30s.
No, Tom
and
Holland
it is a visual medium. What if there's
That's true.
He could do
He's
the
too
Uncharted
young.
audio drama.
Sure.
I love you, Elena. Maybe not. I don't know, man. Look, I'm a youthful-looking guy myself. There are things that I'll never be able to play because I'll never reach that middle age. I'll just look young, and then someday they'll flip a switch, and I'll be Mickey Rooney. And that's just I know that's what it's going to be. I
don't understand. Maybe it's not interesting. I don't understand why they went Tom Holland because Tom Holland's so hot right now. Like, I feel like there are other actors you could have picked who would.
That's why they put Paul Rudd in the Ghostbusters sequel.
Yeah, but I feel like there are other actors that
which will be releasing summer of next year.
Sure. I think you could have.
That was a bit of news. I snuck it in.
You did sneak it in.
Blew right by it.
Great. I don't know how I feel about it. Not super excited.
No, it's gonna suck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love Paul Rudd, but.
Right, but everybody does. That's why they put him in it.
I know, right?
And Finn Wolfhard.
Right. I could take or leave Finn Wolfhard. But...
Well, he's going to take you because he's like 6 feet tall now.
Jeez. Yeah, those kids are...
I can't wait for Stranger Things 4.
I know, right? Like, talk about, like, voices changing.
The strangest thing is going to be getting a job. All right, just stop buying time with your laugh.
I'm not
say
buying
what you're gonna
time. I think that there could have been a better fit for Nathan Drake out there that like is so hot right now. You know, like I'm trying to think. Like I don't like him, but even like Henry Cavill would have been a better fit. Like just like looking at the
Henry
character.
Cavill is too smooth.
Oh, you think?
Yeah, Henry Cavill is not rugged. He's
you're
huge
right.
and he's thick, but he's like that's why he was forgive me.
Whoa.
Forgive me.
Whoa.
Because it was a terrible film. And he wants to do another one. But The Man from U.N.C.L.E., his type, he's a Napoleon Solo type. Now, he was terrible because he's flat and has no charisma.
Yeah.
But that's what his type, you know?
Okay.
I don't think that he's even necessarily a good, like, Witcher because, yeah, Geralt's kind of a pretty boy, but he's also rugged.
Like, love him in The Witcher.
Yeah,
they
but
trip over themselves for
who
him
cares?
in The Witcher. I know.
Everybody knows our stance on The Witcher.
Yeah. Not good. Who would you cast as Nathan Drake?
Nathan Fillion. Who is a kind of a smooth boy.
Like, still?
Well, still one. Because he's old. You don't know how old he is.
Yeah, okay.
That's what makeup's for.
Okay.
Nathan Fillion.
Okay.
Other than that, people would go crazy, but does he have to be white? Like, I can think of a lot of
I know.
actors of color who would be good for him.
Mm-hmm.
Oscar Isaac would be a good Nathan Drake, I think.
Oscar Isaac would be a great Nathan Drake.
Because he's basically just Poe Dameron, right?
Basically.
So wisecracking kind of guy in suspenders.
Right. Yeah. I'm going to say...
like suspenders, like he's in a barbershop quartet. Anyway.
I like it. Yeah, I'm trying to think
I know you are.
Who would be a good fit. Why did I bring this up and then I can't do it? Perform, monkey. Let's see. Who is big? Who would? What about
Pedro Pascal?
Pedro Pascal. Oh, I kind of like that. I was gonna say like the guy who played like Jon Snow or something like that, but no.
That's a Tom Holland problem. It's
You
the same
think
thing all over again.
He's too young. Okay.
Bigger abs, and that's about it.
Okay. Pedro Pascal would be good.
He's got that same like arrow face. He's got Nathan Drake as depicted has like a sharp face. He's got kind of a hawk-like face.
Yeah.
Up top, and then bottom he's all like jaw, and so that's Pedro Pascal right there.
Yeah, no, I could see that. I could totally see that.
Okay, let's stop talking about this.
Okay.
Another movie news: the Battlestar Galactica movie continues apace against everyone's best judgment. And as long as we're doing bad judgment, why don't we have Simon Kinberg write and produce it?
Okay, you're going to have to remind me what Simon Kinberg has done before because I can't think right now.
The New Mutants.
Oh, why? The movie that nobody can see?
And the people who have say is dog shit?
Yeah.
Yeah. He has, for a long time, I mean, he's got a writing credit on some, but he is, he's a producer at Fox, and he has gotten a lot of, he's like the producer David S. Goyer. Whenever they make one of these, for a long time, whenever they made one of these, David Goyer had to be a part of it somehow. And Simon Kinberg always produced. And I feel like the movies varied in quality, but they still came out, and, they were always in a forest. He's the guy that makes them always in a forest.
Oh my
That's
goodness.
what it is, right? How are they going to get a forest into New Mutants if they're in a hospital? There's ghosts and bears and ghost shit in the woods. I'm sure it's fine.
Wow.
Anyway. And so he's like, now I'm going to direct. And so he directed New Mutants. Not great. He directed Dark Phoenix as well.
Oh.
No, he didn't direct New Mutants. We're terrible today.
Whoa.
This is all pain. This is all suffering and being tired and no electrolytes. No, he did the Dark Phoenix. He's like, I'm going to direct.
No, Dark Phoenix was horrible.
Yeah, it was. It was absolutely terrible. Yeah. So goodbye, Battlestar Galactica movie. How are they going to get Cylons in the woods? That's what I want to know.
They'll land on some planet. They'll find that'll be like another Earth, and there'll be a forest.
Well,
there.
that all fits, I guess.
Yeah.
But this is a reimagining.
Yeah. Well, I hate this because Battlestar Galactica is not a story you can tell in a single movie. First of all. And so they're probably banking on having
it's
more
a
than
BSG
one.
universe, yeah.
Yeah. And why do we keep giving multiple chances to creatives who have proven that they should not
Well,
get multiple
first of all, he's
chances.
not creative.
Okay. Well,
it's
to
the other
directors
way. Why
or
do
writers.
Let's say this: why do we let producers become creative? It always reminds me of the scene in The Player, which is a skewering of like the Hollywood system, where the producers of the studio all sit down around a table, and one of them is like, "No, check this out! Like anybody can. Why are we waiting? Why are we giving $1 million checks to screenwriters when we can do it ourselves?" And he picks up a newspaper and he challenges everybody to like read a headline, and he'll give him like a treatment, like a quick take on like how we could develop this thing, and that's. He's the bad guy in the film. He's ridiculous.
Yeah,
he's played by Peter Gallagher.
I know.
And his eyebrows have a bad idea about how to do this, but it does happen. It's the reason it's a satire is because it's true and it works. And so that's what we're facing here.
Yeah.
We take somebody like Josh Boone, who I haven't seen The Fault in Our Stars or anything that he's done, but I understand that people consider him to be, a fresh, creative voice for a white guy. And then we push him out of his own film because we don't like what he's doing with it, even though we said, do whatever you want.
Right.
The New Mutants.
Yeah.
A movie that, not totally its fault, but is the opposite of a movie. It does not exist.
So many strikes against that film. What is it about that film? Is that film cursed, do you think?
Sure. By a demon bear.
Sure.
Yes.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
I mean, it's your fault when you picked a story that, the end of it is 2 white people are transformed into Native American people. Like that's your fault. You wanted to do that story. So let's see what you got.
Yeah, right. Write yourself out of this corner. Yeah. I don't know. I still kind of want to see it, but I have a feeling it's going to be really bad.
Me too. Other movie news that we've got here. It looks like the Justice League cut is... Zack Snyder, excuse me, his cut of Justice League is continuing apace, and we keep hearing new. We keep hearing new developments. Like Joe Manganiello will appear as Deathstroke when he was only in the the final tag scene in the film, and Jared Leto's Joker will appear in the Justice League Zack Snyder cut.
What? I can't. Why? What are they going to have him do?
I don't know, but you can imagine that if this is supposed to be the apotheosis of the DC universe up to date, I'm surprised that that Shazam isn't in this. Like we're going to put everybody in this. But what's funny is that we're going to put Jared Leto into it, a guy who has admitted to being abusive to his co-stars on set. We're going to stick him in there. And it looks like Amber Heard's going to be part of the reshoots as well. Amber Heard, a person who I guess nobody's proved anything, but is a figure who maybe we want to distance ourselves from.
Yeah. Yeah. Her and Johnny Depp both. Let's distance ourselves
Ben Affleck, basically, it's just let's let him quit this because we know he can't say no to any form of alcohol roles.
I'm just a Batman who can't
we
say
suggest no. I don't know why Oklahoma fits into this, but I'm going to get to the end of my point, which is you want to talk about cursed projects. It's this.
Yeah.
And yet people are going to eat it up.
I hate all of this.
I hate it too.
I don't want any of these things that you're saying. I don't even want the Zack Snyder cut. I am not excited about seeing this, and the more I hear about it, the more I hate it. Like, there's nothing that makes me go, oh, that could be good, or wow, I can't wait to see that. I don't know. Obviously, this is for Zack Snyder fans.
The decision, well, look, it's going to make money. That's all that matters.
Yeah, I know.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, even the people who want to see the train wreck are going to pay money for it.
Yeah.
But all these decisions just seem so bad. These decisions are so bad. Zack Snyder has brought Joss Whedon on to direct scenes in he just recreates, only with more money in the hole, the exact situation that started before.
Right. It's just...
So you've got Ezra Miller, who chokes women.
Oh my gosh.
You've got Amber Heard, who hits people. You've got Ben Affleck, who he's a victim. Nothing wrong with him, but clearly he was not well received as Batman.
Yeah,
only by the most rabid DC fans,
right.
and seems the memes are true, you know? It's just the memes of how weary he is and just he wants to do. Plus, people like him as a director. Let him direct stuff. Let him get better as a director. Maybe he'll deliver something really good. He keeps getting sucked back into this thing, and he doesn't want to do it.
Well, didn't he sign
And then
something?
Ray Fisher, who, look, put up or shut up. You know, where's your evidence? Like, at this point, you are the aggressor here. Like, what happened? What, you know, show me the evidence. Let's have it. Because if it's true, then we need to act on it. And if it's not, you puffing your chest out and making such a big deal, being so aggro about how you were abused or whatever. Like, what is it here?
Well, didn't Jason Momoa come out and like back him? Like,
yeah. Well, he was like
recently, or it wasn't great.
Hang 10, dude. Yeah. Right. Oh boy, not great.
No but we still have no idea what happened.
Yeah.
It's weird. Yeah, and then we have Jared Leto, who was abusive to his fellow co-stars when he
Marvel
was on
doesn't
set.
have this problem.
No.
Probably because they cover it up better. Like, ask Edgar Wright, you know, how he feels.
Well,
or ask everybody on Age of Ultron if he was, Joss Whedon was abusive to them, and they don't say anything because they don't want to screw up their promotions, probably.
I don't know. It's not a good look.
No.
And it's difficult to get excited about a project that has so many.
It's difficult to
people.
get excited about anything, especially the fact that apparently No Time to Die is being shopped around to streaming services.
You are kidding me. I thought this was a bunch of BS.
This is a rumor.
Okay.
It's not a "we got this covered" rumor. It's
a verified rumor.
Well, I mean, they think that exists.
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, the word is that they are looking for an $800 million price tag.
Holy cow! Like
the service. No. Sorry. Let's back all that up again.
Oh, okay.
It is being shopped around to, you know, Apple, Netflix, you know, just all the
Prime.
like the major streaming services.
Yeah, sure.
And it is a $600 million price tag.
So what they're asking is if you want it on your service, this is the dollar amount.
Yes.
I'm going to show you a figure. I think you're going to like it. This is it. And then hopefully you'll make that money back on like subscriptions or something like that.
Yeah, right. Writes it down on the pad.
Yeah.
Spins it around. Gives to the guy. The guy's like, "Is this your phone number?" Oh, this is the offer.
Yeah, right.
Okay.
Do you think anybody is going to bite on this?
I don't know. I mean, is it just the film, or is there, I guess, you know, you can't have all the other Bond films because they're locked up into whatever, I'm sure, hundreds of millions of dollars contract was set up for them. So, yeah, that's something else. I guess every Bond film is probably separate from whatever contract has been made, right? So I don't know where the Bond films are right now. They were on Amazon a while ago.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is just something totally different. I don't know.
They might still be on Amazon, but I don't know. That just seems like a lot. I mean, unless you were able to. I guess they've done this with some films, right? That have come out like you have like if you want to watch it now, it's $30 or something like that, or $20.
Right, but this will be on streaming in perpetuity.
Yeah.
Until whenever the contract runs out.
True. Okay.
So I mean, $800 million could be a good offer, or 600. Sorry, I don't know.
Right.
Because I'm not Jeffrey Katzenberg. I bet you he knows.
If it was to go to streaming, any idea when it would
just
come
break it
out?
up into 10-minute segments.
I know.
And you can even turn your phone into portrait mode, like no one does, unless they're filming their dad twerking or something like that.
Oh my god!
Here's some movie news that is sort of tangential, but still movie news all the same. Italy has reclosed its cinemas because of a coronavirus surge, and Spain is looking to follow them. So we are full. It doesn't matter what you believe.
No.
Facts don't care about your feelings. We are moving into the second wave.
Yeah.
So
this is bad.
This is bad. This is an Italian canary going, a cheap. as far as the U.S. film market, I'm sure, is concerned.
Yeah, this is a bad
and Quibi
sign.
still failed. It's amazing.
I know.
Yeah. Well, people are watching full movies. They don't want to watch 10 minutes. They'd be watching 100 Quibi videos in a day. They're all stuck at home.
Right.
Some good news. There's a new movie coming out called Minari.
One more time?
Minari.
Minari.
Yes.
Okay.
It is an independent film.
Okay.
And it stars Stephen Yen. And A24, the studio behind it, is putting him up for Best Actor.
Oh.
This would be the first Asian American Best Actor nominee if he is voted for the nominees.
That's cool. Is it a Korean film? I think I've watched or is it an American film? Because I think
A24.
Oh, okay, it is American.
American company.
I watched the trailer for it.
Yes,
and
there are white people and there are Korean actors in it as well.
Yeah, but I think they're in the film. Him and his family are supposed to be from South Korea, coming to America and trying to make a life.
Yes. Kimchi on the prairie.
Yeah. Oh.
Look. On our long ass drive, we had a lot to talk about.
I know.
And what did I come up with? I'll tell you.
Yeah.
Don't let you ruin it. I'm not going to let you ruin it. In the spirit of Little Mosque on the Prairie.
Yeah.
And Minari, about a Korean family in the 1980s who moves to the heartland and has to, do a farm and has to deal with that.
Yeah.
I said, what if you get an Indian family, right? Mm-hmm. In this case, the whole family comes over to get a jump start on it. Right. They move to the heartland of America. Yeah. And they have to deal, and it's on a farm. I didn't know the synopsis of Minari before I came up with this.
Yeah.
And they have to deal with their white American neighbors. I wouldn't said it now. I probably would said it at about the same time.
Yeah, right.
It's called Hindiana.
Yeah. I groaned at the name. It's
Anyway,
it's
this
good,
is like
but it's
that.
bad.
Congratulations to Steven. And aren't you just sick and tired of knowing a lot of famous people?
Yeah, I know.
If there is a finite amount of success, you and I have selflessly let everyone that we know take it.
I guess. I don't know.
How many New York Times best-selling authors that we know between us and Best Actor nominee, and probably in this day and age of recognizing diversity, probably winner. So
yeah, right. I know. I know.
The chamber of the revolver spins.
For the audience.
Which one will it land on?
I know.
Click. Oh, not today. Not today.
Wow. In case the audience doesn't know,
how do they not know?
I don't know. I went to college with Steven.
Yes.
So yeah.
Took the same acting classes.
Year.
Yes.
Yeah.
so
anyways. All right.
Your turn. Diddy Mao. Let's move on to the real story, which is what's going on TV. Everything's being adapted. We're all looking at TV stuff. Things like Tim Burton finally giving up and doing an Addams Family live-action TV series. Now, didn't they try to do this before? Eddie Izzard was in a Munsters reboot, right? They did the Munster, I think, for 2 seasons, right?
Oh, did they?
Nobody watched it.
Oh, okay.
But I don't know.
2 seasons, huh?
Yeah, but then of course there was the Addams Family movies that were pretty successful.
Yeah, those were successful
in their time.
Yeah.
But I don't feel like they've really been hitting this Addams Family thing. But now, Tim Burton wants to do the Addams Family.
I mean, it's
about time.
Up his alley.
Why didn't you start here?
Yeah. Well, because he wanted to create his own stuff. So. Probably, don't you think?
Well, Frankenweenie.
Yeah.
Which, he worked at Disney basically, right? Didn't he wasn't he an animator for Disney for 10 seconds?
I don't know the answer to that.
I don't either. This is just let's try to make this show short because we're not doing a very good job today.
Oh, okay.
Thoughts on that?
It could be fun. I don't know. I haven't liked a lot of Tim Burton's more recent stuff, so I don't know. I'd like to see him do a different spin on things if he's gonna,
But he won't. It'll be Johnny Depp as Gomez, which...
Oh, don't stop. Just stop. I don't want that.
We go from John Astin to Raul Julia to Johnny Depp.
I don't want that.
Yeah.
That's all I have to say about that.
And probably Helena Bonham Carter. They'll try to dress her up and make her Morticia.
No, I don't want that either.
Finn Wolfhard is now too tall to play. Well, I guess he's not fat enough to play. Who's a fat? Ooh, don't even bother to explain. Who cares, right? Colorblind casting. Oh no, he's not fat anymore. I was gonna say get get Ned from Spider-Man.
Yeah, Tom Holland's
I don't know.
best
I'm
friend.
just What if Pugsley's not fat because Pugsley's they'll explain that he's doing zombie aerobics and just get rid of that. Why did you have to be fat?
He's a vegan now. Or
What?
I don't know.
What was he before?
I don't know.
Don't they all eat human flesh or something?
Yeah. Okay.
He only eats killer plants.
There you go.
Like Audrey Two's.
Yeah. There you go. I like that.
I hate this. David Gordon Green wants to do a Smokey and the Bandit TV adaptation.
Okay. I don't know who David Gordon Green is.
Well, do you know who Seth MacFarlane is?
Yes.
There you go.
Okay.
No, David Gordon Green is a writer and director who did the Halloween. He produced the Halloween 2.
Okay. All right. Why
Directed it.
Why Smokey and the Bandit?
Before that, he did Pineapple Express and Your Highness, and
I mean,
he's got a weird patch that he sort of rolls on. But
Okay.
he also most recently did The Righteous Gemstones. He was one of the producers and show creator.
Okay, so it's going to be probably very heavily relying on the comedy then, I'm guessing.
Yeah, and I'm guessing that Danny Boyle, not yet, Danny McBride will be the Dom DeLuise character.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, maybe.
So who do we get to play the Burt Reynolds character?
Oh my god. And this is TV, you said, right?
Yeah. Who's in Seth MacFarlane? I mean, God forbid it's Seth MacFarlane himself. But
oh no, I don't like that.
boy, if I had known back when I was deciding what career I wanted, that I could just take all the things that I loved watching when I was a kid, and then I could just do them.
Right.
We wouldn't be talking right now. I would be turning you down for a job, probably.
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's just like Star Trek, Smokey and the Bandit.
Yeah, I know.
All the references to every Battlestar Galactica. I'm surprised he probably sniffed around the Battlestar Galactica thing, don't you think?
Probably.
But he likes Star Trek though, so maybe he didn't like BSG. But that's all that he does. He's got a show that's a Star Trek ripoff.
I know.
He's got. I'm too exhausted to be this angry. Any experience with Smokey and the Bandit?
I haven't actually seen it. It's on my list of movies for co-video.
Then why bother talking about it?
oh,
Why
boy.
not talk instead about the Willow series that is a go at Disney Plus?
I mean, I guess it makes sense. Like, Disney's looking for content. I think the film was popular when it came out.
Warwick Davis is still kicking around.
Is he going to be
It
Willow?
is a sequel series. He will star in some capacity as Willow.
Well, that makes me happy. I'm happy about that.
It's directed by John M. Chu,
Okay.
which director of Crazy Rich Asians
Okay.
and the Step Up films.
All right. Well, maybe they'll make Willow a more diverse world. That would be cool.
It's not very diverse.
No.
No matter how much brown makeup you put on Rick Overton.
No. I don't think they're going to get Val Kilmer in this.
Dude,
but
careful.
whoa.
Careful. We don't want to draw their ire.
No, we don't.
We barely survived last time.
I know. I know. But I am excited about the idea of this and its potential. I mean, I think fantasy series are pretty popular.
Disney
and this
Plus
is for kids.
is
so.
pretty high quality stuff.
Yeah.
And they usually don't let lazy things like everything that's on Netflix
Right.
go out the door. So,
Yeah.
I mean, might not. Yeah, that's why I wish that, like, why didn't if just a year later, Dark Crystal would have been on Disney Plus.
I know.
And it would
I
have
was
gone
just
forever.
thinking about Dark
In fact,
Crystal.
I don't know why, except for the fact that I don't think they want to be seen as taking cast-offs. It could be on it now. They could just buy it and do a second season.
Yeah.
Frustrating.
It is.
Also frustrating, David Fincher won't be doing any mine hunting anytime soon.
This is bummer news. I mean, I think I'd heard this previously, but wish there was a better update to this because I really enjoy the Mindhunter series on Netflix.
Yeah.
It's a good one. I like the characters. I like the story. I'd like to see the story continue. So I hope this gets back on track sometime soon. Didn't they have to let like the contracts expire?
Yeah. It's according to Fincher, I think it's a question of money and of time.
Okay.
'Cause it's
I know
gonna-
he's got like other projects and stuff like that.
It's going to cost a lot to do, and I mean, he's David Fincher. He's doing a lot of stuff.
Yeah, right.
It's time and money intensive, and I think that it's instead of handing it off to it's a sign of how important it is to him that he's not handing it off to somebody else.
Right.
But if he never gets back to it, well, there won't be.
Won't be anymore. Yeah. So I hope he gets back to it. Yeah. I guess I'll just wait for that.
You know what apparently has no impediments at all to its production?
What?
Archer, which has been renewed for its 12th season. Its 12th season at FXX.
Is anybody watching it still?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. People are watching Archer. And something that, except, I don't really like Archer. Doesn't matter. What we like doesn't matter. We've proved that throughout this entire show.
Didn't you used to like Archer?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Okay.
I don't, the fact that they go for a couple years and then they get bored and then they just like, now it's in the 40s or something like that. I mean, I guess that's fine. That's their right to do. And other shows like, other Adult Swim shows and comedy shows, animated shows have done that. But it's like, I mean, I guess if you're not committed to your premise, why should I watch it?
Yeah, right. It's not a good look.
No.
It's
usually when a sitcom just ups and decides, oh, they don't own an ice cream shop anymore. They're on a ranch or something. That means that the show's in trouble and they're scrambling to sort of reinvent it.
Right. It's more than like, oh, here's a wacky new character to stir things up. It's like, we're changing the premise. So
how come they never changed the premise of It's Always Sunny? That's been on for like 16 years.
Because I guess it works.
Bum, ba-dum, bum, bum, ba-dum, ba-dum, bum. But we're at the bar.
Yeah, right.
Oh, I bought an airplane. It was really cheap. Oh, we're going to fly this airplane.
Yeah.
The gang crashes an airplane.
Yeah.
I guess it works.
Yeah, exactly. I guess don't write yourself into a corner.
That's the second time that you've said that.
Yeah, well, it's applicable.
Well,
I don't know.
Yeah, I think we're casting ourselves into a corner.
Oh, no.
Do you like Charlie Brown?
I do like Charlie Brown.
Get Apple TV.
Uh-oh.
Because that's where Charlie Brown's going to be for the foreseeable future.
Oh, all Charlie Brown?
All of Charlie Brown.
Okay.
Or at least all the parts that people care about.
Well, that's a win for Apple, especially with the
Apple
holidays coming up.
Yes.
People really like...
It's a great pumpkin.
Yes.
You can find him or search for him because he doesn't exist.
Right.
Sorry, Linus. On Apple Plus, who also has a license to create new Peanuts content.
Well, I hope they do a good job at it.
ABC aired Peanut specials for
a long
forever.
time. Yeah, I know. The Snoopy or the Peanuts Christmas special is one of my favorite holiday specials like ever. It's a really good one. Where they have the really kind of pathetic looking Christmas tree.
Yes. Which that's I mean, we talked about this, I think it was last week, right? Like that is the tone of Peanuts. Yeah. There's nothing you can do.
No.
You'll never succeed.
I know.
With Peanuts if it's not like that.
I know. And
it's the same thing with the Muppets, which is let's make the Muppets 30 Rock, where like nothing matters and lots of cutaways, and that's not what the Muppets is. The Muppets is them trying to do a show earnestly, but yet also a real kind of weird, cynical undertone to the humor, and they're underdogs. There's no other way to do it.
Right.
Except if they're babies and they can go into paintings and stuff like that.
Right. Except if you make it really wacky. Yeah, exactly. I don't know. I think if you're gonna redo something like that, you have to, like you said, you have to understand its core and understand what works about it and how the stories and the characters work in order to reinvent it or create new stories. Like
I
you
suppose,
said.
but like our kids today are post cynical, right? Like they're post cynical. So you're if you're aiming it for kids,
Yeah.
kids are going to grow up completely different than we did.
Mm-hmm.
And so that isn't true necessarily. You can just call it whatever you want, and then people like me will complain, but it's not for me, and it's literally not marketed for me.
Yeah.
If you just stopped making Peanuts, and then 50 years later, if we're all still here, it's not a given, and you started making Peanuts. Let's say you just re-aired old Peanuts.
Mm-hmm.
Would it hit or wouldn't it? I don't know.
That's a great question. I don't know the answer to that. I mean, I think it's classic, but I grew up with it.
Right.
So,
but this is corporate control. This isn't,
right.
There's a lot of things like we were talking about this today. And I used the example of Henry Darger, and it was a joke. But I'm just saying there are a lot of people that labor in obscurity, and then their works are found at a later time when they hit, and because that person was ahead of their time or even behind their time.
Right.
Good example. Marlowe was way more famous than Shakespeare when they were alive.
Yes.
Shakespeare was seen as like kind of trashy and not something to aspire to.
Right.
It was popular among some people, but then jokes on Marlowe, also the bills on Marlowe, but he didn't want it, so he was stabbed in the eye. And so 400 years later, like Shakespeare is seen as the greatest playwright in the English language. Whether or not that's true, I don't know, but it is true. But
do you think Marlowe gets a bad rap? Do you think
No, people love Marlowe, but also nobody studies him. So the very few people that study him, I mean, not nobody, but
he's not as well studied.
He's not quoted on sitcoms.
Right. He's not quoted on sitcoms. You don't necessarily have to read them in English class.
But again, it's sitcoms.
School. Yeah, right.
So maybe Shakespeare was playing the long game in that, yes, there's a lot of edification. There's a lot of important classic sort of references and things to break down in his work. But he was also aiming at, the cheap seats as well as the nice ones. And so, I just used the example of sitcoms. How do you put Edmund Spenser's The Fairy Queen into a sitcom? You can't. But Shakespeare's like, oh, this has got two twins, and like they get mixed up, and it's like, that is a sitcom. Yeah. That's the Donna Reed show.
Right.
So
right. And he's like making up words that made it into our lexicon today, and he's like super quotable and like yeah, maybe he was just like, he was ahead of his time and he was like thinking in tropes and memes.
I just looked up Donna Reed's show and I was tagging it with Identical Cousins. Yeah. Which is how they were just
I know. I remember the song.
But it's how they were billed.
Yeah.
And it said identity theft. And I'm like, oh, that's right. I forgot about that episode of the Donna Reed show.
What?
Where Donna Stone tries to take... I don't know. Here is our last depressing story. Smashing Pumpkins is releasing a sequel to Melancholy and the Infinite Sadness.
That is depressing. Why? Why, Billy Corgan? Just make something new. Is it like, well, people love that album, so here's something in a similar vein? Like, how long ago did that come out now? 20-some years ago?
Sure.
Wow. I feel really
Probably
old.
25.
Yeah, I feel very, very old. I mean, love that album. Iconic double album by the Smashing Pumpkins. A lot of really great hits on that. But maybe do something else? I don't know. What do you think?
I think that there is only... I mean, you could argue that maybe Billy Corgan was a larger percentage of the success or the heart of Melancholy than the rest of the band.
Well, he would certainly say
Although, don't they credit all the songs to the Smashing Pumpkins? They had a real artistic partnership going on, right? Mm-hmm. But since it's just him now...
More or less, yeah.
I think James sometimes does stuff with them. Mm-hmm. This is not. This is not.
This is not the Smashing Pumpkins, right? It's not.
I
The
can't
same
even
thing.
think of a good example because every example of one person pushing forward. This is like John Fogerty re-recording all of his CCR songs by himself.
Right.
It's just like, yeah, I mean, okay, you wrote all the songs and you yelled at
Right.
anybody who tried to contribute anything creatively, but it's still everybody together, and that sound is what we think of when we think of
Right.
Born on the Bayou,
Right.
or whatever.
Yeah. It's just it's not the same thing. I don't know. It wasn't like their box set, The Airplane Flies High, weren't those like B-sides and stuff like that they like were recorded around the same time as Melancholy and Infinite Sadness? Maybe I'm like,
Yes.
okay. So those all had like a similar sound, a similar vibe, and that was released separately. So I mean, is he just saying this is the iconic, this is the ultimate Smashing Pumpkins, so I'm going to try to recapture that, and I'm going to play all the instruments?
He hasn't said any of that.
Okay.
I don't know.
All right.
I don't know where you're going with any
I
of
don't
this.
know. I don't know.
This is like, okay, look, I'm screwed. My brain is fried. This is our worst show. We say it every week, but this is now our worst show. So I'm going to throw it to you, somebody who knows a lot more about music than I do. Citation needed.
Wow.
And you tell me a band where everybody quit. I've already got it. Veruca Salt when they did Seether, right?
Well,
Everybody quit. Nina and everybody else quit, and Louise was going to go ahead on her own.
Louise did go ahead,
and it's
on
terrible.
her own. And she released at least one other album that was by Veruca Salt, even though she was the only
Yeah, it was Seether.
member. Yeah. Well, no, they did.
Not the single. The album was called Seether. Wasn't it?
That she did on her own. I don't think it was called Seether. I can't remember what it was called.
Because she's
though.
the Seether.
Yeah, I know.
Resolver.
Yes.
That's what it was.
Yes. Like, I think
Same
it's a
thing.
play on Revolver because they're big Beatles fans because their previous album was Eight Arms to Hold You.
I never thought about that.
Oh, come on. Don't be a jerk.
So I'm just assuming they're AC/DC fans, right?
Why?
Because their other albums, American Thighs, right?
Oh, yeah, maybe they are. Yeah. I mean, that would make sense too.
And they're
So,
David Bowie fans.
We know they're David Bowie
I think
fans.
these chicks like rock and roll.
I think they do too.
I'm not sure about
Yeah,
it.
right.
But I did see them do a video where they slid down some poles in a captain's hat and then danced around in a robe.
Yeah.
Let's just talk about Panama for the last 3 minutes of the segment.
It's a fun video. It's a really fun video.
Directed by Cocaine.
Yeah, more or less. And like, let's just have fun. Let's just
Did we talk
zip
about
around on a wire.
Did we talk about how the Van Halen broke up, or at least for the first time, how they lost David Lee Roth on this show?
Didn't he want to like do like more or less this? I don't know if we talked about it on the show. Didn't he more or less want to do like similar sound, like similar songs and stuff like that? And Eddie Van Halen was like, no, let's.
I think we're
take
just
it in-
repeating ourselves now. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, we talked about Eddie Van Halen and how
Yeah.
he's a virtuoso, and also how he saw where rock was going. So
Right.
in the early 80s, when like synth and all this stuff was taking over, he didn't necessarily, I mean, he's, a guitar god, right?
Right.
And he likes rock and roll, but he was like, he wanted to put that stuff in. And he got his wish, with Right Now and all the Hagar stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But like, he was like, no, let's push it forward. Let's change our sound, not because we need to, but because I want to explore this. This is where this is going, and I like this stuff. And David Lee Roth is like, we're getting money.
Right.
And our money for nothing and chicks for free. Why would we change anything? Let's just keep rocking, and I'll go, wow, and slide
Right.
down a pole, and we'll just do that.
Right.
And also, he had like another thing cooking. Like he was working on his solo album and a movie
Well,
deal.
there you go.
He wanted to make he was going to star in a movie.
Oh my God.
So
Wow.
so was Nina.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nina's like, I got a movie.
Well, I think Nina had her own like solo album too.
Oh, yeah, of course.
But yeah. But they're back
Tonight
together
and
now.
the rest of my life or something like
Yeah.
that. That was her solo album.
Yeah. Yeah. So, anyways,
I know a lot about Ferguson.
you do. They're they're really good while they're making music together. So
it's funny how quick it falls apart, though. You know, you're like,
well, when you sleep with somebody who slept with your bandmate, that's never a good move. So
Van Halen survived that.
yeah, I know.
The Rolling Stones survived that.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was just going to comment on how it's, you know, it seems like yesterday that you're making a video where everybody's playing with kittens, and then like, just a few scant years later, like you won't even, your lawyers will talk to each other for you.
Right. Exactly.
They were such nice girls. Fast zombies or slow zombies?
Like, what do I prefer? Or
that's the question being asked.
I guess like fast zombies because you don't expect it. You know, like I feel like slow zombies they're still scary, but you can outrun them and like outsmart them.
Not if there's a lot of them.
Yeah, that's true.
Plus, it's
that's
a movie.
A problem for any of them.
It's a movie, so you can just at any time that you can open a door and be like, "Oh my god, it's packed solid like a '50s phone booth on a college campus."
Yes,
with zombies.
Yeah, that's absolutely correct. And I mean, these zombies are violent, and like brutal. You know, they seem to be smart.
Maybe not zombies.
They never say the word zombie. They just say that there's a virus and they've been infected.
Right,
so.
But they're not dead. Does a zombie have to be dead?
Oh, yeah.
I'm not. Don't give it to me voodoo. I know. I'm talking about like a film zombie.
I kind of think they have to be dead or undead
to you,
or
they
whatever.
Are not zombies,
right? Do they have to eat brains? Because these guys don't eat brains.
We don't know what these guys eat.
That is correct.
And in fact, there is a plot point that is made, which we're just getting ahead of ourselves. We're talking about 28 Days Later, directed by Danny Boyle, written by a little guy named Alex Garland, who you probably know now a lot better than you did then, and especially after The Beach. And they got together, did a partnership. They did Sunshine, of course, after this as well. And that's kind of how Garland got his start.
Yes.
Working with it's a good place to get your start. Working with a pretty good director.
Yeah.
Who needs Garland back bad. But anyway, yeah. And there's a scene where late in the film where they're trying to figure out if these zombies will starve to death.
Yes.
And I'm like, we don't see them eat.
No, we never see them eat.
In fact,
they bite people.
They bite, but because they are just trying to destroy you. And also, how do they propagate? Because if they are alive, you can kill them; they will die.
Yeah.
If a rage zombie just pummels your face into oatmeal, you can't come back. You're just dead. They don't reanimate dead people.
No.
So how does this spread at all? It would just be, three environmentalists go rah with their limp little wrists and their berets, and then they maybe kill a couple people who are dead because they've had their skulls shattered by these Greenpeace guys.
Yeah, right.
And then they get shot by cops, and then this thing's over.
Yeah.
I'm attacking the premise of the film before you've even given your recap.
Yeah, look at that. I mean, it's unclear as to how this really spreads because they have decided they're not going to show us that part.
Well, they do show us. They show us explicitly when we're just. You got to give this recap.
Okay, all right.
When he gets it in his eye, and it's like nobody bit him, nothing happened. Like that's how it spreads. But the problem is if a zombie, just pummels you with its fists and tries to get at you, you can survive the attack by getting away from it or killing it or whatever. But you could get its blood in you because it's got blood all over it. It's got other infected's blood on it. But that's never a problem. That's never a problem of transfer. These guys can crush a kid's skull with a baseball bat and get blood all over their face, and they're not fine. That's how it would spread.
Yeah,
if it's incredibly virulent. and there's blood everywhere. That's
Right.
how it spread. But it doesn't spread like that in this movie. So
No,
it doesn't matter.
it's
Danny Boyle is
specific.
not an epidemiologist. It doesn't really matter. But
Right. So
tell us what happens in these 3 movies, which are all shrunk down to one movie.
these environmentalists break into a lab because they're going to free these monkeys who they feel have been treated unfairly and inhumanely. And the scientist,
It's an animal testing facility.
yeah, and the scientist guy shows up and he's like, "Don't let them out."
This is the first scene, by the way.
Yeah, I know. Their blood is infected. Well,
Let's find a film where they tell you everything that happens in the first scene. Dune. I'd like you to hear you recap Dune, or would you just go blue screen? You'd be like,
I don't know.
Virginia Madsen comes out and explains everything that happens in Dune. Now, because she does that, I will have to explain everything that happens in Dune. And then, like, the planet
Maybe.
Arrakis is the source of spice.
Yeah, right.
And then I go, stop.
Yeah.
I don't care about Dean Stockwell. Stop. And then we'd actually have, like, a setup. But go ahead and tell me what happens. in the first scene.
Okay, so the scientists, like, their blood is infected. They're angry. It's bad. Don't let them out.
We've been showing them
They'll kill you.
Fox News.
Yeah, right. Well, they let them out, and they bite one of the people, and then we just kind of see it kind of spread, and then the next thing we know, it's is it
28
28
days
days
later?
later? Yeah. How do I not know that?
The next, it's the Fast and the Furious.
Yeah,
I mean,
and
it's Superman. I mean, it's 28 days later.
Cillian Murphy. Is it Cillian Murphy or Cillian? It's Cillian. Right?
Cillian.
Yeah. Cillian Murphy is a character who we find out later is a bike courier. He wakes up in a hospital and nobody is around. He has no idea what's happening. And he eventually runs into 2 other people who have not been infected. They kind of take him under their wing. They let him know what's happening. This virus has spread. And he's worried about his family. They're like they're probably dead. Anyways, he teams up with them, and to survive. And eventually they team up with a dad and a daughter. And then the second part of the movie starts, and they go on this car trip to go to where they think this army base is, where they think they'll be safe. And so they travel there, and it's their adventures there. Then they actually show up to the army base, where they are eventually taken to the new base, and Christopher Eccleston is the head army guy in command, and he has like maybe 12 or 15 other army guys that are there, and they have this whole setup, and they have running water, they've got food. Seems like a really great deal. And then Cillian Murphy finds out that he basically promised his guys women, and so there's going to be a lot of unwanted sex. Like they're gonna. I don't know why I said it that way. It's going to be a double rape, and Cillian Murphy is not happy about that, to say the least. So
that is my favorite British film. A lot of unwanted sex.
So they're like, Christopher Eccleston is like, kill him, and like this one other guy, and so they're going to kill him, but. He gets away, and they
unless you're going to the very end, to the AFL-CIO logo at the end of the credits. We got it, right?
Yeah, we got it. So yeah, they decided it's not a great place.
It's I guess there were zombie movies around this time. I mean, the early 2000s zombie movies came moaning back in a big way, but this is for a lot of people. Like the signifier of like the start of like fast zombies. There were fast zombies before this, but this is where like fast zombies really became popularized. Mm-hmm. And even movies that weren't trying to plant a flag as fast zombie. Like now, if you see a zombie, it could be fast or slow. Right. Like there is no real distinction anymore. And I think this movie is a big part of that. This movie was shot all on video.
Which is a weird choice.
It's a weird choice, but it gives it kind of a low budge kind of verite thing. There are no computer effects that I can discern, right? There's like
No.
no CGI.
Mm-mm.
Maybe some masking in the London scenes, to get rid of the cars that are probably angrily honking for this crew to get off the road because they got to get over Westminster Bridge.
Right.
Those scenes are incredible.
Yeah.
They shot those very early in the morning, either pre-dawn or just after dawn, like on Sundays.
Wow.
So think about, like, you just set up, all right, we've got like a month, let's say, like a month of Sundays, where we just go out and we gotta shave Cillian Murphy's head again, just in the one spot, and then trim the rest, and you have to set up the continuity. And there's that scene where the bus is overturned, and that was just it wasn't a real bus. It was like a dummy mock-up that they basically had to, like, the crew just ran out, dropped it, film the scene, and then pick it up and go and do it all in like 20 minutes. And so, yeah, in terms of that, it's an amazing accomplishment to basically make a convincing empty London. It's not like the most expensive shot in movie history, which is like an empty Times Square or in Vanilla Sky, where Tom Hanks is like, "Meh," which now you would just, I mean, you still have to block traffic, but you could just do up with CGI. You could do a virtual Times Square, a holodeck basically, and then Tom Hanks could just look around. You can make it convincing, but yeah. So it's both like sort of not low effort, like I don't care, but like low tech and kind of very intense at the same time. Because, they're driving on the M1 at one point, and they also had to clear off, the M1 and block everything. And so there was a lot of cooperation with government services to get this film made.
To be.
In a film that has like a cast of maybe a dozen or 20 people tops.
There's not a whole lot of characters in it.
Boyle purposefully cast little known actors, at least at that time. Cillian Murphy had done independent films but was not well known to the public. Naomi Harris, who's Moneypenny in the current James Bond films, had not done much at this point.
Okay.
And Megan Burns has done like 2 movies until she moved into her music career as Betty Curse.
Whoa.
That
sounds dark.
What you think it is.
Okay. Just like goth music or something like that? Or
look behind you.
Okay. Very goth.
Yes.
Wow.
2000s goth.
Okay. Well, that's
yes. And Brendan Gleeson and Christopher Eccleston. What, are you not going to have them in your movie just because they're famous?
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I didn't know that Christopher Eccleston was in this, and I got super excited when I saw him, and then his character was an absolute jerk.
Yeah.
Yeah. But did a great job at it. You hated him.
Yeah.
But
and perfect for Eccleston, that sort of kind menace that he has.
Oh my gosh.
And you could easily this could easily have been an Arlie Ermy type who's like, you're gonna do this and you're gonna do that and just yelling at everybody, but he's just like, even while he's like trying to explain to Jim that so get on board so we can rape these girls.
Right.
This is the way it's going to be.
You can join us. You can join us. This is going to happen.
Give you an opportunity.
Yeah.
Kill him. Shoot him.
I know.
Yeah.
Like what a great guy. I mean, I do think that the maybe shooting it on video kind of helped make it feel kind of like claustrophobic, even though it's like this huge empty London.
Yeah.
In a way. So I think that kind of helped too. But do you think, I feel like we talked about this when we were watching it. Like, do you think it was, I think a lot of the streets would be abandoned, but how realistic do you think it is that like, we didn't see a lot of cars piled up,
I mean, every apocalypse movie, you can kind of argue this. I thought it was weird that when they go, because this isn't The Stand, you know what I mean? Like,
right.
You get this thing and you go insane and become a whirling fist dervish, and you are either, I guess they don't attack each other, so you either join a group of screamers or whatever you want to call them, or you are killed and just lay there. And so at one point Jim goes into a diner, and it's a very like Larry in the Stand type situation. It's just full of dead people who died eating their food, which would be impossible unless they all put cyanide in their food and decided to commit suicide together. Like it just wouldn't. And there's one little kid who's like, but like they would all have relocated either because they were running from zombies or they became zombies themselves.
Yeah.
So I don't know. You would either people would just end up in giant piles or something, wouldn't they?
Yeah. Yeah, and you don't really see a lot of that.
Yeah.
Like later, when they're going to shoot Jim, Cillian Murphy's character, and like the one army guy who they decided he's, I guess, too much of a loose cannon or something like that. They take him to the forest, and there's this pile of bodies there. So we don't know if these are all zombies that they've killed, or if they're other civilians that didn't want to play along that they've killed.
Both.
Or both.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably.
Which is really, really dark. But that's like the only real big pile of bodies that we see in this film.
Yeah. It's hard to say. And we don't get any idea because the whole premise is that it's, 28 days later. Jim, has suffered some kind of traumatic brain injury and was in a hospital. And this movie did come out before The Walking Dead, but what do you want? I guess it doesn't matter.
Right.
So anyway, a character wakes up in a hospital after being in a coma and learns that society has gone to shit. You tell me who copied who.
Well, but was the comic book out?
Nope.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yep.
Right.
Nope. This black and white comic book that is as told in serial, so you can make it up as you go. Mm-hmm. Robert Kirkman stole the idea from 28 Days Later. I don't want. Why be coy? That hack stole that idea from Alex Garland. So anyway, because plus a movie doesn't come out. It's not written when it comes out. It was filmed and written before 2002, wasn't it?
Well, that's absolutely correct.
And Walking Dead started in 2003. So anyway, so we don't really get any sense of it. So sorry, Apocalypse nerds. Your questions aren't going to be answered.
No.
And I did feel a little dismayed at that.
A little bit.
But I can headcanon it.
Yeah, right.
But this movie's too busy being 3 different movies. And the reason I say that is there are certainly
really
3 different settings.
Yeah.
But also the theme changes. I know the theme ultimately is, the people that you choose to be around are your family.
Yes.
And we get that in all 3.
Yeah.
And everybody has an arc in a way. And I'm not criticizing it. But it is specifically very strange that the first part is sort of a apocalypse movie and the second part is more of a
road trip adventure
in
journey.
The apocalypse movie.
Yeah.
And then the fourth or the third part is a total like survival horror, haunted house movie.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Zombieland also ripped this off, didn't it? It's like, what if this but funny?
Yeah.
Because that's also 4 people. A young guy who's sort of a misanthrope, an older guy who has all the strategies.
Yes.
I guess it's only the middle part of the movie, right?
Yeah,
and then a young woman who's jaded, and then a young girl who's just kind of along for the ride.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
But and Zombieland also has a theme of, we're a family because we're 4 people who don't, want to be together, but we've learned that it's more important to be together than to be apart.
It's the smart way to survive. We're going to survive a lot better together than apart. Yeah. And the young girl in this, like, even says when they, Jim, and then what is the other character's name who he meets up with first? I can't remember her name right now. Moneypenny.
Yeah. Selena?
Yeah. They, she's really, she's seen a lot. We get that. And like, she's been traumatized, but she's kind of like surviving is important. And if you turn, I will kill you.
Yeah.
And she makes that very clear.
When she kills Mark.
Yeah. Right. Which I was not expecting that to happen very early on, but they're setting that up so she's serious.
Yeah.
But so then when they find the dad and the young girl, his daughter, she says to Jim, they probably need us more than we need them because, we're tough and we'll kill people and, we've got survival skills. But like the young girl is like, we all need each other. you know, and I think that was like...
Thanks, Betty Curse.
I know. But I thought that was like a good point, and I thought it was kind of... So none of it's not like their jobs from before the apocalypse necessarily make a huge impact on what their survival rate, but like the dad was a taxi driver, so he has a cab. Yeah. And so he's like kind of a crazy driver.
And luckily
so
the roads are empty for some reason.
Right. I mean, they do get a flat and a tunnel, which was really stupid.
I don't want my entire contribution to be... Well, so my entire contribution to this apparently is going to be nitpicking the apocalypse. But what would happen? You're as they prove in the film when they go out to the countryside and have a nice time eating a picnic. And it's like, wait, we could just stay here. No, we got to get to survivors. Because the film is all about how we need each other.
We're stronger together.
Yeah. But the things that we kind of do to each other is the problem, as seen in the third part of the film. And
right.
So you can't just abandon society. It's that need and drive to be with other people, but also it's the hedgehog's dilemma because other people hurt other people.
Yeah.
But they're going to drive out there. What would happen? You're the least safe in population centers, right? So everybody would be driving out of town. If everybody drives somewhere, there is
cars,
traffic jam.
Yes.
So there would be a bunch of cars and a traffic jam.
Yes.
Now, presumably these people aren't infected because they can drive a car and know that they need to leave.
Right.
And maybe they brought somebody with them, but zombies don't like hide in this. They're like, rawr!
No,
So
they do
those
not
cars
hide.
would have never made it,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So you just have a long traffic jam of people all like, come on, what's going on here? Come on. And then in another zombie movie, you'd have the real life people kill each other because the point is that man is the real monster. Man is the real zombie.
Yeah. Well, I think we get that with Christopher
Whatever the
Eccleston,
scenario, the car would be the road would be choked with cars.
It would. Yeah. No, I agree, and that's like
that's
one
why you
of the
take a train, like in Korea,
like a train in Busan. Yeah.
But yeah, just things like they go to the Sainsbury's or whatever it is, and nobody's been in there. All they have to do is just break the front window, and you've got a full
pristine
shop. That hasn't been looted in any way.
Grocery store. I know.
Like I said, we don't know how it unfolds. It doesn't matter to the plot or even to the the tone of some very scary scenes in the film. But we get a fun scene out of it where
it is a fun
where they're doing their shopping scene. But
yeah, it's like a shopping spree.
Why would it be like that?
I know,
it just
right?
Wouldn't.
Why would it be pristine? Why would there be no dead bodies around? Why would there be not even a single zombie?
Yeah, I don't know.
No windows broken.
Maybe there was a successful concerted evacuation effort in London that got most of the people out.
Maybe.
They do mention that when he reads the paper that there are evacuation efforts, but so maybe they started with London, and so that's why Jim had a chance in the first place, just lying unconscious on an operating table.
Well, they
for 28
mentioned
days.
They mentioned
There'd
later,
be a lot more poop.
It just would be. Super
I guess if you're not
gross.
eating, you're not pooping. We don't know when he. I guess he was insensate for 28 days.
Yeah.
But he was being attended to.
Yeah.
So it must have been like a couple days, right?
Yes.
Somehow that ruins it too, because they're still doing like major surgeries in hospitals.
Right.
3-4 days, because how long can you survive without water? Like even if he had an IV in, right? 3 or 4 days before he wakes up, they finished brain surgery on him.
Yeah, right.
He's running around. Maybe they did the brain surgery right away. Okay, all right. This is the show.
Yeah.
Maybe they did brain surgery 30 days before.
Sure. Right.
So he's still in a coma. They're monitoring him. They're also watching the news and going, "Goo."
Right.
If we're to assume that the monkey escaped the same day that they cut into his brain. So it's 30 days of hair growth on the side of his head. And he wasn't on a tail. I think they were like bathing him or something like that, right? So like let's say a week before they go, "Oh, Stinky, we're going to give you a bath." They give him a bath. It's very sexy because somehow we've made like nurses giving you a sponge bath sexy.
I don't know why.
I blame Seinfeld.
Yeah.
like treating your body like an amusement park. But then they go, we got to get out of here. And they leave the key. They lock the door, but they leave him the key. Remember that? Because he just finds the key.
Yes, he just finds the key.
And they're like, you're on your own, buddy, because we don't know if you're going to wake up and we can't carry you.
Oh, that actually
makes... All right, I made it work.
That actually makes sense that, like, somehow, like, the hospital was, like, they knew it was bad and they evacuated. Because I was thinking, as we were talking...
if Jim went upstairs, he would find a lot of old people on respirators that are not working now because there's no power.
Yeah, right. Well, I just think it's weird. Like, he didn't, like, totally explore the entire hospital. But if they evacuated, it makes sense. But, like, you would think there would be bodies or zombies around somewhere.
I also would think that they live in the dad, Frank and Hannah live in a council flat, and it's probably like 20, 25 stories, right?
It's tall.
And so it's been 28 days. He's gotten clearly he can get into other units because he's got every Tupperware thing in the building on the roof.
Yeah.
And I do like the idea that it's like, it's not raining. It hasn't rained in a month. It's England. Come on.
Right.
But if there are at least, let's say there are 12 rooms on a floor, 12 times 20 is 240. There are 240 toilet and toilet reservoirs
that does
in
not
that
get
building.
Mentioned. Yeah.
Even if you rated all 240 toilet reservoirs, which would be quite an effort, you'd have plenty of water, wouldn't you?
Yeah, you just boil the water and then you can use it.
Plus the water would work for a while because it's all gravity, right?
He said he didn't want to...
He didn't want to risk it.
He said the noise brought them in.
Oh, yeah.
That was a quick
But you could still scoop the water. You wouldn't like it, but you could scoop the water out of the toilets and out of the toilet reservoirs, which would be potable.
Yes. You could definitely do that.
This is not what the movie's about.
No, it's not.
I apologize.
I did think it was... I mean, they didn't totally, like... lay everything out to Jim when they first met him. They told him like the basics that he needed to survive. Like, you don't go out at night, you stick in a group, you don't travel alone if you can help it.
You don't light a candle and have a flashback where you're talking to your parents.
Like, he has the window, like, it's not open, but like there's no blinds, or maybe they are blinds, but he's like, well, they're asleep. I'm gonna light a candle, and that, like, the zombies are smart, so they see that and they like attack, and then he's like freaking out because at least one of them is like a neighbor that he recognizes. It's like, they're a monster, Jim, now.
They're monsters.
Yeah. What did you expect? You know. So.
Also, wow, the parents.
It's pretty bleak. You know, but I guess they decided, let's commit suicide together instead of becoming horrible zombies.
I guess, yeah.
And,
maybe
like,
there are
possibly
more
killing each
down
other
the block.
people.
There are a lot of couples in beds, but in the note they write are like, "Don't wake up." It's
like, wow. I know, it's pretty bad.
That's rough.
Yeah, it's really rough.
I think that they could have. So let's talk about the themes here. The themes are a family. Also, the theme of the world so bad, right?
Yes.
I guess it's very muddled for me because remember, before the outbreak, we see all those feeds that they're showing the monkey.
Yeah, it's not great.
That's not footage from the riots and the outbreak. That's because this is before the outbreak. That's just like, look at this world
horrible
violence,
news.
monkey. And become a right-wing commentator. That monkey's got a bow tie on, and he's like, "No, look at this. Really. You really think that?" I don't know. And I think that we could have lost the beginning because we never come back to that. I don't think we ever really try to.
That's true.
You say man is inhumane, and that's reflected again with Major West at the end and his merry band of rapists. But it's you don't make a real statement on that. Other than, like,
they're infected with rage or something.
Yeah.
That's supposed to be important, but we don't really come back to that either.
Well, we see it throughout the film.
We see it.
Right.
Yeah.
But it isn't like, just another movie where you're infected with something and it makes, it exaggerates the things that
you're feeling naturally or something like that.
Like, if we had started with, like a Zack Snyder, let me finish kind of opening where you see that the world is already kind of shitty and I tried and let's kick this thing of oranges.
Right.
And then, the rage virus is bringing out all these prejudices and racism that we've got. That's not what it is. It's just the world is kind of the way it is. And then we made a rage medicine.
Yeah, right.
So, yeah, I mean, no, we don't meet the bucktooth scientist later. We don't meet any of the Greenpeace people. Like,
No.
I think we could have lost that.
I think you're probably right. How would you have started it? Would you just started it with Cillian Murphy?
I'd have Betty Kirst be like, "The world isn't as nice as you VO as you think it is." No, I'm just kidding. I don't know. You know what? I don't know. I didn't write it, but if it's completely unconnected, that seems like a good thing to cut, right? Yes. I know it's the beginning, but
we, like you said, we never come back to it.
It has nothing to do with anything.
Nobody talks about scientists or monkeys or how did it start.
No, and they wouldn't know. So I'm just saying, if you're going for verite, you're going for video, handheld. It's not handheld. But if you're going for video and we're in the character's shoes and they don't know, then why do we know? What does it matter?
Yeah, fair. I agree with you. I would have cut it too. It's not necessary.
This movie is very influential, I think. There's a specific reference in the idea that Jim drinks Pepsi.
Yes.
It might be a product placement, but it's important because that's becomes sort of, at least in the first part of the movie, the food that they eat, because
they have pop. Yeah.
It's liquid, it hydrates you, it's
sugar.
got a ton of sugar, and it's easy to carry. And so he sort of raids the Pepsi machine. Damon Lindelof's World War Z rips this off for no good reason other than maybe just literally like being a product placement. Because after Brad Pitt, finds the cure or whatever, he goes back and he just cracks open a Pepsi and he's like, delicious. And then he kicks the machine open, I think, so all the cans roll out and they're very noisy and they attract the monsters and they go a different way.
Uh-huh. Okay.
But it's just like, that was in another zombie movie.
Yeah, why are you
one of the most famous zombie movies of all time. You're not getting away with this.
Why are you drawing attention to it? That's weird.
I also think that, like, when he is walking around London, he's going, "Hello!
Yes.
Is anybody there?"
Yeah, right.
When did the Gorillaz' first album come out? Because the Gorillaz sample Day of the Dead, which has a character, walking through an empty city being like, "Hello, is anyone there?"
Okay.
In M1A1. So this is either a reference to the Gorillaz song, if it came before,
right,
or to Day of the Dead, George Romero's Day of the Dead.
Okay.
I think
Interesting. What do you think too? Like, he first comes across he goes to, and we don't know what his religious or spirituality is.
I would say not.
Yeah, but Jim goes to, he's wandering around, and one of the places he goes to is a church, and that's where he finds a lot of bodies, because I think people were in there praying when they got attacked. And I can't remember, there was something written on the wall,
and they're all there and were all infected and then ran out of the church to fight and kill other people.
Yeah, right.
I don't know how it works.
But and then he sees the priest or the father, and he's infected, and he hits him, and he's like, "Oh, I shouldn't have done that. It's like, well, he's gonna kill you if you don't attack him." So,
right. But we're making a statement about what you believe doesn't matter in this apocalypse or whatever. There's that very cheeky, I think the Brits would say, thing where it says on the wall, the end is extremely effing nigh.
Yeah,
and the way it's not spray painted, it's in block paint letters, and it goes up 25 feet. So this hopeless soul would have had to have gotten a friend, put a ladder up, and spent a lot of... Now, should it be... Give me the level again. I want to make sure it's straight. It's just not... look, it's just window dressing.
I know.
It's about tone and mood, but come on.
I know. It's silly. It's really silly.
This I don't mean to keep eyeing when you if you have something to say, just spit it out. But I do have a list of notes that I'm going through here.
Yeah.
This was filmed before, but released after 9/11, and so I think that helped it sort of burrow its way into people's minds.
Sure.
Especially the scene in Trafalgar Square where he goes up and he's seeing all the pictures of have you seen, he's 47 years old? And nowadays, in the time of COVID, it takes on a different sort of resonance.
It does. There's this horrible virus and people are getting infected and it's spreading really fast and people are dying. Wow. it's it's upsetting, but like, I think that, obviously the government didn't handle it well in this particular instance too. Like, there were evacuation plans, but it seems like for the most part, they came too late for an actual evacuation to happen.
Well, I guess we've already sort of struggled with this.
Yeah, I know. But there are some lines at some point in the movie they talked about how they heard about this infection hitting Paris and New York first.
Yeah.
And then there's this other line that somebody else, I think one of the soldiers, talks about how nobody cares about them and they're quarantining them in England and everybody's forgot about them. They're just like an infected island and maybe the rest of the world is okay.
Right.
But we know the rest of the world isn't okay because Paris and New York were affected.
We don't know that because,
you
spoilers, it turns out at the end that England, I don't know, again, here's another theme. Is this a commentary on England or English society, British society? Because it is fine. Jim sees a plane flying.
That's true.
The outside world is working. That guy was right. At the time, it seems like a weird comment. Later on, it's like the voice of the screenwriter telling us that this is a story about England and not about anywhere else.
Right.
And the sequel picks up on that because 28 days or weeks later is the repopulation of Britain. All the people who got out or weren't there come home because it's safe.
No, it's not.
It's a zombie movie. Of course it's not.
It's not.
And so, again, it's like, as far as the muddling of themes goes, well, what's that about?
Yeah. For the sequel, do any of the cast come back
No.
for the sequel?
Nobody wants to come back to this thing.
Oh, okay.
No.
All right. That's too bad.
Yeah.
I do think, Cillian Murphy, I think he did a good job. The actress who plays Moneypenny and is the female lead in this, what is her name again?
Naomi Harris.
I think she did a really great job.
Yeah, I think she did too. I think that everybody does a pretty good job in this. Brendan Gleeson is a great actor.
Yeah. I
think his kid isn't, but he is.
Aww.
And he really provides kind of a subtle edge to this. I especially like, I mean, it's devastating when he gets the thing and he knows that he's got seconds to say goodbye to his daughter before.
It's heartbreaking.
And also tell her, I'm coming after you.
Don't
you know
come near me. Yeah, like, I love you. I'd do anything for you.
I guess if he was really smart, he'd just start bashing his head against the pavement, try to kill himself before he can transform. But
yeah,
that's the sort of darkness that lives in my heart.
He doesn't have a gun or anything like that. Yeah.
No, he doesn't. Yeah. So, But did we talk about the tunnel? You brought up the tunnel.
Yeah.
Which itself seems to me to be sort of a reference to, like, The Stand. There's a very famous scene in the Lincoln Tunnel in The Stand. But instead it's just like, let's just show people how easy it is to deal with problems in this universe because the tunnel would be packed.
Yeah.
And then they show that it is blocked. But apparently you can drive a black cab up a ramp that someone has put there. Thanks, crew. And then you can just drive over cars in a. I don't know.
I know. He's a crazy cab driver.
There's a lot that we have to see. No, if they had,
right?
Yeah, I don't think they were. I don't know.
Yeah, I think
that stretched the disbelief a little bit.
It did, and it was like, well, this is a bad idea. I know this is a bad idea. Why are we doing this? And even like one of the characters was like, we should just go the long way. And it's like, no, this is the shortest way. Let's do this. And then
I guess they're just showing that, like, Jim doesn't always know when. If Jim is kind of a dick in this film,
he is kind of a jerk. He's kind of a petulant baby.
Yes,
a lot of the time.
It's a coming of age story where a petulant baby learns to become a zombie.
Well, and then become
a remorseless zombie.
I know, and God, I forget her name again. Naomi. Selena. Just kicks so much butt, and like, if it wasn't for her, he'd be dead. I don't even know how many times over. And he even like recognizes that at some point. So maybe there is a little bit of growth there. But I think she did a really great job, and I wish she was in more things.
Yeah.
But And I guess she sticks with him because it's safety in numbers, right? Like, and that's kind of like what we're led to believe. And then
I guess, but
they
also
grow to have affection for each other.
Yeah.
I know.
I mean, it's
what do you want? It's a movie.
There aren't a lot of people left.
No, there aren't.
So if you land, if these two people land the people they land, it's like, well, we should lock this in. Probably.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Yeah. Otherwise, it's going to be one of the goofy, crooked-teethed soldiers that we meet, along the way.
Who all of them were awful.
Let's get to that part.
Yeah.
So what's that part about? Because it does seem that there is some kind of confused attack on society, on modern society, right?
Yeah.
And maybe the emphasis that we place on security and the military-industrial complex. I also got the idea that, like, sure, our heroes are confused and they don't know what to do, and sometimes they take a while to act, but they're not these guys. And if these guys are planning, a new Eden, like their plan is that they're going to be society, and if society is built out of what's left, and these are it, then maybe it's better if we are just zombies and society goes away.
I think that maybe that is it, and like there nobody is in charge, right? These guys have created this quote unquote safe space, right?
Nice.
And they are essentially in charge, and so when the people in charge are corrupt and evil, you aren't safe, and you're better off on your own. Maybe it's not always,
which has always been Selena's ethos,
right? And maybe more people isn't always the answer if the people are evil or corrupt. And like Eccleston basically he rationalizes it because his guys were losing morale, and like one of them was like he found him with a gun to his head and he was going to kill himself unless he promised them women. And
yeah.
And so that's how he justifies this, and he's okay with it.
Yeah.
It's not like he necessarily is going to take part, but he's going to let them do whatever they want to Selena and Hannah.
Yeah, I liked, speaking of things that people have stolen from this, the idea of having a zombie chained for some reason. I'm sure that was in a Romero movie or two, but that's in, I think in Last of Us 2, they chain up zombies as sentries, basically.
You know what else it's in is the Simon Pegg movie. What is that called? Why can't I think of what it's called with the zombies?
Shaun of the Dead.
Shaun of the Dead. Why can't I think of what it? His buddy gets infected and they chain him up.
Mm-hmm. But
yeah,
right, as a joke.
As a joke.
I'm saying the idea of all right. So zombies and chains have probably been together since the first zombie in a movie, a silent movie. I'm just saying the idea of like weaponizing a chained up zombie exists in The Last of Us 2 because the people that Ellie are trying to kill have set them up, so you'd be stupid to go across somebody's yard if zombies were chained at intervals, right?
Yeah.
But if you use your little gun to shoot the chain, now you've got a free zombie who's just going to turn around and kill everybody in the house.
Right.
And that was exactly what happens.
Right. No, yes, absolutely. And like... I think they definitely set it up, right? Because Cillian Murphy is kind of like weirded out by this, but he's like intrigued at the same time too, and like it's kind of amazing that the zombie doesn't like. I can't remember. Cillian Murphy must have gotten away or something like that, but he like does not attack Cillian Murphy. He just goes into the house and like is there some remnant of his like he knows who did this to him? So he's going to attack them
possibly
first.
I mean, we all we get from this is that they're just, you would assume that they're just unending kettles of rage, right? But when maybe they have learning ability, maybe they have cognizance, because when Doctor Who shows him the zombie, he's mad at first, but then he's just kind of like, just kind of looking around. So maybe he's just, they have the ability to rage and also bide their time, or or be distracted by something. I don't know, but it's all set up for at the end when Jim, who is disillusioned and doesn't like. We never see his life before, so I feel like it has like less resonance. But
that's true.
He's such a prat that you can get the idea that he's probably a prat and disillusioned in his own young life.
Probably.
And so he finally, this is about Gen X, man. He finally gives into rage, his own rage at the end, and becomes zombie-like in a way.
Yeah. And like
I don't know if am I onto something there?
No, you are. And like Selena isn't sure if like he is turned because he does like kill one of the guys, and
then
he's
Hannah
kind
hits
of
him in the
enraged.
back of the head. We all have a good laugh.
Right, exactly. She's like, "You were attacking her. I was kissing her.
It's a kiss. I was kissing her. Why we would kiss each other when our faces are covered with blood, no one knows, but that's what we're up to.
Good point. Especially infected blood or
nobody cares about transmission in this film, even though
that's such a big part of it. We're supposed to be totally scared of it.
Yeah, it's fine. Whatever.
Yeah, right.
It's not a criticism.
No.
I feel like everybody stole a zombie as a pet. Anything else you can think of? It's definitely. I don't think the zombies in general are a criticism of toxic masculinity, but the third act of the movie certainly is.
Yeah, definitely. I do really like that Selena, for as hard and jaded as she is, she really takes Hannah under her wing, especially when like Hannah's dad dies and she just wants to take care of her and protect her.
Oh yeah, she's absolutely the disillusioned idealist in this film.
Yeah, and she's like, take me, don't take her, and she's like, I'm gonna give you drugs, you don't care, and like, but then I also really like how when they're about to escape the house and Hannah gets in the car and they find a Cleston in the back seat and he's got a gun and he shoots Jim, which stinks but sucks, whatever, but like
stinks and sucks.
But Hannah like is like, I'm gonna take care of this, and she just like backs the car up into the house, and like a Cleston like crashes out of the car, or the zombie picks him out of the car or whatever, and like he gets bitten and attacked, and then they drive away. It's like, wow, quick thinking, Hannah. Didn't know that would happen.
I didn't know that was in your skill set.
Yeah, right, exactly.
Especially when you're whacked out on whatever you were on.
Right.
But it still works. It's cool. It's definitely the work of a, not first time, but like an early screenwriter who's like, I can do this and I'm going to do it.
Right.
Doesn't matter if it doesn't make any sense. It's just a cool thing. And so that's what frustrates me about this film, which I do enjoy, is that it's a combination of like almost big ideas and cool stuff. And just when you're like, oh, I'm going to get that good idea, and like, oh, no, they're doing something else. Oh, but it's cool though, so whatever.
Right.
It like keeps interrupting your thought patterns with cool stuff. Which is good, because maybe if you went a little deeper, there isn't anything there.
It's possible.
Maybe.
I was a little weirded out. Like they made it seem like it was going to end in the car, because they kind of like jolt and everything, and it freeze frames, and then they like fast forward.
What's up with the Guy Ritchie freeze frame?
Yeah, that was weird.
Yeah, that's me.
And
I bet you're wondering how I got in this back seat with a hole in my stomach.
Yeah, exactly. And then they like fast forward to I don't know how many days later, after we see flashes
another
of him in the hospital.
It literally is another 28 days later, isn't it? Yeah, because the same graphic comes up.
And then like they're in some idyllic like country cottage that they've somehow found that is fine, and
they're in the middle of nowhere. They have
shelter in the middle of nowhere.
The company of other humans, and so by isolating, ironically they want to get back with other people, but by not. Again, I feel like that's a muddled theme, because that's the theme of The Stand, which was written in the 70s and then was updated in the 80s, and I'm not sure really what the theme of The Stand is, but
right.
It's an anti, like religious text, basically, because everybody gathers under the religion of evil, a flag, which is, we don't have to do this. We'll do The Stand someday.
Sure.
But anyway, the point is, at the end of The Stand, after they've beaten evil, they all separate, and he makes a point of saying that like humans just kind of lived apart after that. They didn't, come together anymore, which is like, drop that on us at the end of the book, really?
I know, right?
Is
it's
at the
depressing.
end of human civilization.
Right. The end of Community.
I mean, it's the end of civilization, but is it the end of Community? Yeah. I don't know.
Right.
Dan Harmon could always do a movie still. Would you recommend this?
I would. I enjoyed it. It's I don't know why people don't talk about it as much anymore. I think
because it built a new generation of movies like this in a lot of ways, you know, and also Zack Snyder.
What about Zack Snyder?
Zack Snyder exists because of this. Oh. He did also sort of gritty run and gun kind of remake of Dawn of the Dead, and got a lot of attention and notoriety because of it, and now he's making TV movies with Jared Leto.
Yeah, I know. Ish. Okay. Well, I don't like that aspect of it, but I would recommend it. I think it's a good film. And I think it's a good scary movie to watch for your Halloween month viewing. So yeah, I would definitely recommend it. How about you?
Yeah, even though it's purely scientific, it has nothing to do with like supernatural things. It's not the haunting of Bly House or whatever. But yeah, I would also agree with that assessment. Do you think? Well, what's your opinion of Alex Garland in general?
You'll have to remind me what else he's done. I don't think I've seen Beach or Sunshine.
You haven't seen Sunshine?
No, I have not seen Sunshine. Should I put that on my list?
I don't know. Well, maybe we'll watch it someday. I don't know if I'd take a list spot for it.
Okay.
Also, Annihilation, Ex Machina.
Oh, right.
He wrote the script for Dread.
I love Dread.
He did Never Let Me Go.
Okay, well... I liked Annihilation. I thought Annihilation was good. Ex Machina is, I think it's pretty okay. I think it's better. It's better than okay, but it's not excellent in my opinion.
I'm sorry. Did it fall short of excellence?
I don't know. Maybe I need to watch it again. But I think Annihilation is something that's really neat, something you can really discuss and you think about a lot afterwards. It's weird and it's eerie and unsettling.
Because the alien in Lena will combine with the alien in Kane.
Exactly.
And then we'll have crazy aliens all over the place.
Right. What? Yeah.
It's funny that you would just mention that specifically in concert with, not that it was entertaining, but like that. But you can discuss it, and you can discuss it. All right, there's a lot of things to discuss.
Well, you can, and it is entertaining.
You can write fanfic about it.
You can definitely do that. So yeah, maybe I need to watch Sunshine. And I don't know, maybe I need to watch The Beach. I don't know.
Yeah,
but
skip The Beach.
Skip The Beach?
Yeah.
Okay.
Definitely skip The Beach.
But I think he's a decent writer, and like he's written some interesting stuff.
That's
what?
Thanks for your opinion, but what an empty comment.
Wow. Okay.
Love that interesting stuff he does. Yes.
He's written some thought-provoking things. Okay.
He does. He definitely. I think that more than most. Quote unquote Hollywood people who make movies that end up being as big as the ones that he does. Mm-hmm. I think he's like Christopher Nolan, not just like Christopher Nolan. He tries to make you think while you're watching the explosions or whatever.
Yeah.
Although I think that Christopher Nolan is deceptively deep. I think that his stuff is more shallow than anybody gives it credit for. At the same time, I think that Alex Garland is also, if Nolan is like 50% deep, I think Garland's 75% deep. I don't think that his stuff is quite as deep as people would give it credit for.
Sure.
But it does, even if you don't like it. Like, I think I would, at this point now, grudgingly agree that Ex Machina is a good, quote unquote, good movie.
Okay.
I still don't love it, and I still retain the sort of almost like reaction that I had when I walked out of it. Mm-hmm. But that's art can do that. That's fine.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm excited to see what he does. I almost think so. They've been talking about doing 28 Months Later.
Okay. All right. Did Garland do the sequel? I guess.
No, I don't think so.
Oh, okay.
Maybe. Don't quote me, but
okay.
Nobody likes it, so probably not.
Probably not.
Damon Lindelof, probably.
What would you do for 28 months?
Well, they don't want to, but I'd say do 28 years later.
Why not?
Sure, months is the next division if in the Polish abortion movie scale.
Oh.
Boy, we should talk about that again, because that's going to be real important real soon here.
Yeah, well.
I don't know. What do you do? I say that you. Boy, it's tough, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think 28 months is enough.
I don't think it is either, because I mean, you think about it, it's a little over 2 years. That's it.
Yeah.
I don't think it's enough either.
But but the farther you go, the more you stray into Romero, late Romero territory, where it's now you're just, the themes are like, right, we made a game show and you fight zombies on a game show, and it's just, the social commentary becomes, like
more
starkly
distance.
rendered
Yeah.
and less effective.
Yeah. What else could you do 28 fortnights later? That's... that's even less.
We're doing
less than months.
We're doing our time distinctions now.
Yeah.
28 centuries later.
Sure.
Space zombies
28
have mastered their rage, but sometimes it comes out.
28 decades later.
28 decades later.
Yeah.
28 epochs later.
Yeah, right.
The sun is a red cinder, and zombies are, maybe that's not going to work.
Zombies in space. Somehow zombies have engineered space travel and are able to travel from planet to planet.
And you're fighting a zombie in space, and he's got a spacesuit on. Of course he does.
Yeah.
And then you pull his helmet off, and he's like,
right.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah, right. I can still bite
dead.
you. Yeah, right. Exactly.
It's been 1 week since you looked at me. Cocked your head to the side and said I'm angry. 5 days since you laughed at me, saying get back together, come back and see me. 3 days since the living room. I realized it's all my fault, but couldn't tell you. Yesterday you'd forgiven me, but it'll still be 2 days till I say I'm sorry.
All right, well, that is our show. Hopefully you have a spookatastic Halloween.
Yeah.
And I'm going to get some rest and then some candy and try to renew this old brain of mine.
Rejuvenate with sugar.
That's how it works, right?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, that's how you do it.
Yeah.
Bring everything back.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Come back with...
This is what I'm talking about.
What?
We're just stumbling like zombies across the finish line.
Oh.
Find us on social media, Facebook and Twitter, Instagram as well, at Just Enough Trope. Also, subscribe to the show. Give us a rating and a review. We really appreciate it.
Yes.
Give us 5 drops of blood right in your eye.
Ish.
And it's the kind of thing where
It's gross.
you can't really predict that.
No, but like
Depends
at the
on how
same
high
time...
it is. If you see it coming, you could kind of get out of the way.
But at the same time, don't stand directly under the dead body. I know he's like mad at the crow that's like eating at
That's
him.
right. We forgot to talk about that.
Yeah.
Because
so does
he
it
kind
get
of
into
gives
animals?
He gives into sort of anger, at his frustration over their situation.
Yeah.
And then as he's doing that, his recklessness causes him to get the big anger.
The blood in his eye, yeah.
So that's interesting.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I wonder if he had like been wearing glasses or sunglasses, if it would have gotten into his eye.
Everybody should wear goggles.
There you go.
You go to a hardware store,
right.
you get those big and it doesn't obstruct because they're designed like that. The lenses are huge.
Right.
The mesh part on the outside is clear plastic.
Yeah.
You can see this way, all the zombies coming.
There you go.
Didn't Mark and Selena had those at the beginning, didn't they?
I thought they did.
Yeah.
What happened to her goggles? And Mark's not using his anymore, so she could just give them to Jen.
Well, rinse them off first.
Yeah, right.
A little splash, splash.
Yeah, right, exactly.
Yeah, all right. Well, give us 5 stars. We'll be back next week to talk about something else. And until then, we're signing off. I'm your host, Caliban.
I'm your co-host, Mikan Hana.
Keep the geek fires burning.
Must be a whole bunch to run.